lost with the discovery by Dr. Jonas Salk of the anti-polio vaccine, which was to spread a mantle of protection over millions of American children. And the scientist entered the ranks of the medical immortal.
Welcome to Shadow and Light, where poetry remembers what history tried to erase. I'm Kiara Page. This episode is titled The Silent Witness, a journey into the hidden chapters of medical history, where bodies became evidence, where silence was mistaken for consent. The voices you hear are my own poems, composed in witness to the lives of Henrietta Lacks and those caught inside Willowbrook, Guatemala, and Holmesburg. Their bodies bore testimony. Their scars spoke truth. Though they were silenced, they remained witness still. A body is never just a body. It carries memory and marrow, history and skin. Even in silence, it speaks of what was taken, of what was endured. Every cell, every scar is a witness, even when no one listens. Henrietta was the first in this story. A woman turned into 4 letters, a mother turned into immortal cells. For Henrietta Lacks, the cell witness. They called her Hila, as if a code could erase the woman, as if 4 letters could carry her laughter, or the way she braided her children's hair. Her cells multiplied in secret laboratories, while her family lived without heat, without care. She was never asked, never told, and yet every vaccine, every breakthrough carries her name in silence. Henrietta is a silent witness, her body speaking in millions of cells, her absence filling every lab with a question that still waits for an answer. Her cells bore witness in silence. Others, children, confined in institutions, became witnesses too. Willowbrook, the child witnesses. For the residents of Willowbrook State School. In the name of research, they fed disease to children. Small hands holding tin spoons. Eyes that did not understand why the porridge burned inside them. They said the children were subhuman. They said consent did not matter, but their suffering was a witness. Every fever, every cry, marking the cruelty written into policy. Willowbrook's walls did not forget. The bricks themselves still hold the echo. Children were here, and they were not silent. Across borders, the silence deepened. The needle carried infection, and entire communities bore wounds as witnesses. Guatemala, the infected witnesses. For the Guatemalan victims of the U.S. syphilis experiments. They came with needles and promises, doctors cloaked in white, speaking of care, but carrying contagion. Men in barracks, women in prisons, orphans with no one to shield them. They were exposed without knowing, infected without choice, abandoned without treatment. History called it an experiment, but the truth is simpler. The bodies of Guatemala became witnesses, carrying scars that spoke louder than the reports, telling future generations, we remembered, we were never asked. And in Philadelphia, behind bars, men carry their testimony in skin and scars. Holmesburg, the scar witnesses, for the men of Holmesburg Prison. They offered a few dollars, a chance at soap, a cigarette, and in return, the prisoners gave their skin, burned with chemicals, covered with creams that scarred more than they healed. They called it science, but the men called it survival. The cells became clinics. The prison yard became a ledger of wounds, and the scars? They remained silent witnesses, raised welts on forearms, telling truths no report ever could. To all the silent witnesses, a cell that multiplies, a child's fevered breath, a wound left untreated, a scar that would not fade, different bodies, different years, but the same story written again and again. Science said progress, history said sacrifice, but the bodies said nothing. And in their silence, they told us everything. Henrietta Lacks, the children of Willowbrook, the people of Guatemala, the men of Holmesburg. Different names, different years, but the same truth. Consent was stolen, and with it, dignity. Their silence was not absence, it was testimony. Their bodies remained witnesses, speaking across time, demanding we listen. This is Shadow and Light. I'm Kiari Page. May memory guide us and dignity never be silenced again.